what evidence did they use to reach that conclusion, that finding?
For what, sir?
Well, when it's contested, is there only one way that...
Tested over the phone is based on your statement. When you mail in your statement with any documents, it's based on the information you mail in. If you do it online, it's based on your statement that you provide online.
If you do it over the phone, is it based on what you say on the phone?
Correct.
So they pretty much, did the person that reviewed it, did they listen to the phone calls?
So it's a brief statement that is submitted when it's done over the phone.
Do they actually listen to recordings of the phone calls themselves?
No, sir.
No?
I'm sorry?
Do they... You're saying that when they...
Asking you just who listened to the phone.
Well, who makes the review? Who does the review?
It's the department, sir. There's no specific person I can give you that makes a decision, sir. The Department for Parking Violations Bureau with the City of Los Angeles.
Is there an actual review? Do they actually dismiss some of the tickets at the review?
Everyone in this department makes a decision following the processing rules for the Department of Transportation, sir.
How do they decide at the review whether the ticket is valid? What criterion do they use?
Yes, sir. What I can do to better assist you is I can take down your phone number and request a supervisor to call you back to answer all your concerns and questions regarding the determination of the decision, sir. Would you like me to take down your phone number?
Yes, right.
Okay, so I will go ahead and forward this to my supervisor. The supervisor will return your call within the next 48 business hours, okay, sir?
Hopefully they can explain the procedure that is used to determine
They should be able
these
to.
reviews.
Okay.
So what is their claim to that money?
Okay, sir, so I've already taken down your phone number. My supervisor will return your call within the next 48 hours to assist you with all your questions and concerns following the procedures for these two tickets. Okay, sir?
Is there a way that a member of the public can be informed of the procedures without having to speak to a supervisor?
You can request it in writing.
Is it available to the public on a website or in any kind of public forum?
And request it in writing.
So those those procedures are not generally available to the public? Is that correct? They're secret?
What's a secret, sir?
Well, I'm asking you how the determination was made at the review, and it seems like you're deliberately withholding that information. I'm wondering why I can't just call up and be told that.
But assist you with your questioning in regards to the procedure, sir.
Oh, you don't know the procedure?
I do know the procedure, sir.
So why aren't you telling me then? You're withholding that information from the public when they call up. You have that information, but you just don't give it to them? Is that right? The process is secretive? Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, sir. You can request that information in writing, and the city will review it and correspond back to you by mail.
They will?
Yes, sir.
What office do I send that to?
That would be to Parking Violations Bureau. It's P.O. Box. 30247. Los Angeles. 90030.
And is that the only way to get accurate information about the actual process of the ticket?
For the processing rules, yes, sir. You will need to request it in writing.
It's only they're only available to the public if the public requests them in writing from that specific address.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, they're kept secret. You can't disclose them over the phone.
You would have to request it in writing, sir.
And is that a policy directive of ACS?
I'm sorry?
Is that something you're doing from your own discretion, or is that a policy directive of ACS?
It's a policy from the department, so if you needed that information, you can retrieve it by requesting it in writing, sir. The department will correspond back to you by mail to the address you provide on your request.
So you're saying that's not the policy of ACS, or it is the policy of ACS?
I never said that, sir. I stated you can request the information in writing. We cannot give you that information over the phone, sir.
Really? So you don't think that information should be readily available to the public?
It's not my decision, sir, and it's not my opinion. It's irrelevant to the ticket. So that information you're requesting, you can request it in writing, sir.
And is that because ACS decided that?
It's a policy, sir. Is there anything else?
It's a policy of
I've
who?
already taken down your phone number. Like I stated, my supervisor will return your call within the next 48 business hours. Okay. There's nothing else. Well, then thank you for calling, and you have yourself a good day, sir. Goodbye.
Thank you, and am I speaking to the registered owner?
Yeah.
How may I assist you, sir?
Is this customer service?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, yes, sir?
Am I a customer of ACS?
Technically, you're not a customer because the parking citation isn't something that you pay for. I'm sorry, it's not something that you request, but we do assist citizens with parking violations.
Oh, who is your customer?
We don't really technically have customers. We are a customer service helpline. But because parking violations are fines and not something that you purchase, and technically you're not really a customer.
So you have no customer?
So a customer is someone who makes a purchase for something. Because a parking violation is a fine and not something that you purchase, then we are a customer service helpline, which means we assist citizens, but you're technically not a customer.
But if I'm not a customer, do you have people who are customers? Do you have customers?
No, sir.
But you have a customer service line?
Yes, I mean, that's just the general name for our department's customer service, but we don't have customers.
Oh. So why do they have a customer service line?
Because there are citizens who do call in to try to contest the citation or need help to figure out how to contest or payments, and we do assist with that.
So you're providing a service for them?
Correct.
So by prosecuting these traffic tickets, you're performing a service on behalf of the people who have to pay them?
Correct.
And why do these people buy your service?
People don't buy our service, sir. It's not something that it's purchased. It's something that's provided to you for people who need assistance with contesting or payment for parking violations.
How much do you charge for your service?
We don't charge for our service, sir. It's a free service.
Oh, you're a free service?
Yes, sir. We don't require payment for anything. That's why you're technically not a customer, because we're not charging you to assist you.
So I'm not required to pay the traffic ticket?
No, you are required to pay the fine, because that is the fine that was issued to you. However, order for us to assist you, there is still payment that we require to assist you.
You just said I'm not required to pay anything.
No, you asked me how much do we charge to help you. We don't charge anything to help you. If you have questions or general questions like that, but you do have to pay the fine.
Why do I have to pay the fine?
Because it's something that was issued to your vehicle because you were in violation.
I contested the ticket.
Okay, so even though you contested the citation, sir, you were still found liable for the ticket, which means that it still must be paid.
Really? How was I found liable?
What do you mean, how were you found liable? The ticket was ruled not in your favor, sir.
How did that happen?
Because when you contested the citation, it was ruled in the favor of the officer, meaning your vehicle was in violation and the ticket was not dismissed.
How did that ruling happen?
When you called in to dispute the citation, it was forwarded to our department who reviews them, and it was ruled not in your favor.
By who?
By our initial review department, sir.
By the initial review department?
Correct.
And how do they decide if they find how they are going to find on the ticket?
By your contesting statement that you gave to the representative when you called.
So do they listen to that statement?
No, when you called in to dispute, your dispute was typed into the system by the representative that you spoke with, and then it was forwarded. And then that was reviewed, and then you were found liable.
So then the person that reviews the ticket and makes the determination at the review is just looking at the report of the person who made the phone call?
Correct.
Can I get copies of those reports?
You would have to request for that in writing, sir.
And who made those reports?
What do you mean, who makes the report, sir?
Well, you said the person who makes the determination on the ticket is going off of a report.
No, sir, I didn't say that. They review the internal notes that are submitted by the representative that you spoke with, and then that is ruled and made the decision on.
So the person that makes the decision based on what I say on the phone call disputing the ticket doesn't actually listen to the phone call itself.
As I realized, you said no, they do not.
But they go off of a report that's based on the phone call.
They do not go off of a report, sir. They go off of the notes that are submitted internally from when you made the phone call.
Oh, notes. That's the technical term? They go off the notes?
They go off of the notes that are entered when you call to contest. When you call to contest, we submit in a statement or notes that are forwarded, and then a decision is made.
And what is the standard of evidence at the review? Are they basically that the violation is presumed to be true unless it's proven false?
Right. And usually through the initial review, unless you have supporting evidence, it's ruled in the favor of the officer.
And it's basically the allegations on the ticket are presumed to be true unless the person contesting it proves them to be false. Is that correct?
Correct.
So it's basically you're presumed guilty until you're proven innocent, right?
Correct.
And you think that's the proper procedure for determining if someone's guilty?
Well, what happens is, sir, if your vehicle is in violation, then that's why you were cited. So the only way for it to be ruled in your favor, or usually found not guilty per se for the citation, would be to prove that your vehicle was not in violation of being cited and the officer made the error. Otherwise, it's going to be ruled in favor of the officer because they're the ones who cited your vehicle.
So it basically, you're presumed, in this system, someone challenging a ticket is presumed guilty until they prove that they're innocent.
Usually, through the initial review, it's found in favor of the officer unless the citizen has supporting documentation to prove that the officer wrote the ticket in error.
What if no evidence is shown to support the allegations on the ticket? Is that sufficient?
The ticket is ruled not in your favor and in favor of the officer, and the citation is ruled a valid ticket, meaning that it's upstanding, meaning that the officer wrote the ticket correctly and it will not be dismissed through the initial review.
So is it grounds to get a ticket thrown out that there's no evidence that to support the allegations on the ticket?
No, I mean, because if the ticket is issued, that means the officer noticed the vehicle being in violation. If you have no proof to show that the officer was actually in error and your vehicle was not in violation, then the citation will not be dismissed.
So then are these reviews pretty much done on just the basis of the allegation on the ticket itself?
No, not all the time, because there are some times where the officers do make error, and if the citizen can prove that there is an error on the behalf of the officer, then the tickets are dismissed.
And the burden of proof is on the accused to prove that they're innocent, is that correct?
On the citizen. It's up to the citizen to prove that they are not guilty or not at fault for the citation, or their vehicle is not in violation.
So you can basically you're basically saying that you can proceed without any corroborating evidence of the allegations. Just the allegation.
If the officer cites your vehicle and you cannot prove that your vehicle actually was not in error, then the citation will be ruled not in your favor and the ticket will be upstanding.
And that doesn't require any kind of witnesses?
No, sir.
So the allegations are presumed to be true even without any evidence to corroborate them aside from the allegations?
They're not allegations, sir. If your vehicle was in violation, then that's why it was cited. It's not an allegation. It's your vehicle was in violation. Unless you can prove that the officer made an error, then the citation is upstanding.
So there's been no parking violation alleged?
It's not that it's alleged, sir. The violation, the vehicle was in violation. It's not alleged.
It's not alleged that it was in violation?
These are not allegations, sir. No one's assuming or presuming or alleging that your vehicle was in violation. Your vehicle was in violation. That's why you were cited. Unless you can prove that the officer made an error, then the citation will be upstanding.
So you're not assuming my car was in violation?
They're not assumptions, sir. If the officer noted your vehicle in violation of something, that's not an assumption, nor is it an allegation. It's a fact that your vehicle was in violation. That's why you received a ticket. The officer cannot go based on assumption.
So that the finding that a vehicle is in violation, you're saying that's not a legal opinion, that's an ironclad fact?
If your vehicle is parked on the side of the street between 10 and 12 for street cleaning, that's not an allegation. That's a violation. It shows here that your vehicle was parked on the side of the street where it says no parking 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Your vehicle was cited at 8:05. That's not an allegation. That's not an assumption. It is a fact that your vehicle was in violation, and that's why the ticket was issued to your vehicle.
That's not a legal conclusion or a legal opinion. That's a fact.
It's not an opinion, sir.
It's not.
It's a fact that your vehicle was in violation.
So is that, is there any evidence to corroborate that?
The evidence is the citation, sir.
Beyond the citation?
The officer noted that there was no parking 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Fridays, and your vehicle was parked on that side of the street.
Beyond the citation itself, was there any evidence whatsoever?
No, sir. I mean, evidence as far as what? There doesn't have to be evidence. If your vehicle was in violation, then that's why you were cited.
Well, I'm asking you if there was any evidence. I mean, I don't think there was any other evidence, but I'm asking you if there was. If there was, I'd want to know what the evidence was.
There doesn't have to be evidence, sir. There is no evidence. The ticket is the evidence that your vehicle was in violation.
So when you decide these tickets, you don't actually consider any evidence?
So they're issued by parking enforcement.
Who makes the decision at the initial review then?
The Parking Violations Bureau.
And that's who you work for, right?
Correct.
How do they, when they make that decision at the initial review, do they weigh the evidence or do they not?
There is no evidence, sir. The ticket is evidence that your vehicle was in violation. There is no evidence that it has to be waived or anything.
So there is no evidence at the initial review. It's done completely without evidence?
Based on the citation. So the ticket is evidence that your vehicle was in violation.
And when they do the review, they don't consider any other evidence other than that?
There is no other evidence to consider, sir.
So the determination isn't based on evidence. It's based only on the allegation on the ticket?
There is no allegation, sir. The ticket is evidence that your vehicle was in violation.
But aside from that ticket, there's no corroborating evidence of that?
No.
Like, can someone, for instance, at this initial review, cross-examine the officer that wrote the ticket?
No.
No? So you don't allow any kind of cross-examination of...
Not at the initial review, no, sir. You cannot cross-examine the officer.
So how would someone challenge that allegation if they can't even...
It's not an allegation, sir. You will have to submit in your own proof that your vehicle was not in violation. There's no cross-examining of the officer. You have to submit in your own proof to prove that the officer was incorrect in citing your vehicle.
And the person that does the review, do they have to have 20 hours of training?
No, sir.
Oh, what are the qualifications for someone to make these reviews?
Well, they do have to be trained, but it's not like that they need an official 20 hours of training to make an initial review decision. They're trained on how to make decisions for the initial reviews and what to look for and if any evidence is submitted by a citizen.
And are these people called examiners? Is that what their job title is?
They're not, sir.
They're not?
No.
Who are the people that make the determinations?
The initial review department.
Oh, and it's a Does the whole department make the decision at the review, or is it?
No, sir.
It's just one person that makes the determination on one case?
Correct. So I show here, sir, that there is a callback on file, but we'll have the supervisor return your call to speak to you regarding the parking violations.
Oh, well, I'll wait for their call.
Okay, sir.
What hours would they wouldn't call after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, would they?
No, sir.
Okay, well, I'll wait here till about then.